again. So now we are going to go through the electrolysis of a concentrated sodium chloride. So what is happening is we have the ions from sodium chloride and we are going to have the ions from water. So what is going to happen? The ions from sodium chloride, we have got the sodium ions and the chloride ions. And here we are going to have the hydrogen ions and we are going to have the hydroxide ions. So now, you know that these ones, the sodium ions and the hydrogen ions, they are going to be attracted to the negative terminal, which is the cathode. And the chloride ions and the hydroxide ions are going to be attracted to the anode. But then, let us see what is going to happen when these two are attracted to the negative terminal, because there are the ions that are going to remain in solution and there are the other ones that are going to be attracted to the terminal. So now, let us go through what is going to happen at the cathode. The cathode, remember, is that negative terminal. So now, at the cathode, what is going to happen is we are going to see the hydrogen ions. They are the ones that are going to give up electrons, which means hydrogen ions are going to be attracted to the cathode and they are going to give up a hydrogen gas. Now remember, also always we have to balance. So here we have got two hydrogens, which means you have got to have two of them here. And here, because the hydrogen ions are now two, the electrons, they have to be two of them as well. So now, the sodium ions are going to remain in solution. The sodium ions are going to remain in solution because now the hydrogen ions are the ones that are going to be given up at the cathode. They are going to remain in solution. So now, let us see what is going to happen at the anode. The anode is that positive terminal. At the anode, we are going to have the chloride ions and the hydroxide ions, which are going to be attracted at the anode. But then, because now the chloride ions are much plenty than the hydroxide ions, which means now this is concentrated. Therefore, chloride ions are much in number than the hydroxide ions. So, which means the chloride ions are the ones that are going to be attracted to the anode. And then we are going to see the hydroxide ions. They are the ones that are going to remain in solution. But first of all, let us balance our equations. If here we have the two chlorine atoms, it means here the chloride ions, it has got to be two. And also the electrons has to be two of them. So this means now the hydroxide ions are going to remain in solution. They are going to remain in solution because now the chloride ions are much in number than the hydroxide ions. So this is what is going to happen. Chlorine gas is the one that is going to be given off at the positive terminal, which is the anode. Now, we are going to have the summary, which means we are going to have an overall reaction that is going to take place when concentrated sodium chloride is being electrolyzed. So this means our overall reaction now, we are going to have sodium chloride is going to be plus water. We have sodium chloride plus water. So what we are going to have is we are going to have sodium hydroxide. We are going to have our sodium hydroxide and we are going to have hydrogen gas given at the other terminal. And we are going to have chlorine gas is also going to be given at the other terminal. Remember, these terminals, we have the positive one, which is the anode. This is where chlorine gas is going to be given off. And then at the cathode, the negative terminal is whereby hydrogen gas is going to be given off. Now, balancing is always important. This means this equation here, our summary or the overall reaction is not balanced. So which means we have got to balance it. We have 2 chlorine atoms there, and here we have 1. So we can put 2 here. So by putting these 2 here, it means it's going to affect the number of sodium in that side, sodium atoms in that side, also oxygen and hydrogen. So this means we have got to put 2 here. But then by putting these 2 here, we have 4 hydrogens. This 2 changes the whole thing. We have 2 hydrogens plus these ones, and then the hydrogens are 4. So which means you also have to put another 2 here. And then by so doing, now you can recheck. Our overall reaction is now balanced. So this is what is going to happen when a concentrated sodium chloride is being electrolyzed. Okay guys, here I have I have prepared some industrial application of electrolysis. So now electrolysis can be used in electroplating. Electroplating is whereby one metal is covered with another metal. For an example, it can be gold electroplating, whereby a certain metal is going to be covered with gold to make it look more attractive and beautiful. So now we also have copper purification. Some metals, when they come, they come with some impurities, which means they are not clean. Therefore, electrolysis is going to be used to purify copper so that it can end up having a pure metal without any dirt, or you can call those impurities. So they use electrolysis to remove them. So now extraction of aluminium. Also electrolysis is used to extract aluminium from its ore. Metal normally comes from their ores. So aluminium, in order for it to be extracted from its ore, electrolysis is going to be applied. And therefore here are some uses of aluminium. We have some aluminium windows. We have aluminium foil, and also aeroplane parts are made up of aluminium. So here we have the chlor-alkali industry. It's whereby chlorine is used. We have sodium hydroxide. This one, sodium hydroxide, is used in hair relaxers, or is used in soap industries. We have chlorine. Chlorine is also used at water purification. In order for water to be removed, for the impurities to be removed in water, so that it can be safe for human consumption, it means it have to be purified using chlorine. And also here we have application of hydrogen is being used in the harbor process. So please, when you are at home, try to read more of this so that you can know what happens, all the steps of water purification, and also the harbor process. Thank you very much. Okay guys, here is a small exercise for you to test yourself whether you have been following what you have been doing. So the exercise is: list the ions that are present in concentrated solution of sodium chloride, which you have already done. And then we have copper 2 chloride. So this means here you just list the ions and then you pass on. So here number B says, give the anode and the overall reaction of electrolysis of copper 2 chloride, which means you just show those reactions, the overall and the anode. The cathode, you don't do. Just test yourself. Thank you.